Can you believe moving the mic a tiny bit will change the sound that much? I have been obsessed with getting the holy grail of recorded guitar sounds for about 30 years, trying every kind of mic position I could think of, and when I finally found one that I thought was perfect, I'd come back the next day only to find that it sounded totally different and I had to start the whole thing all over again. But I got a little hopeful when I saw Glenn Fricker using that mic robot thing. Robots. To get precise locations with a microphone on a guitar cabinet, until I found out it was about $800. I tried so many different ways to get a consistent sound, but it was never really practical. So I went to my local hardware store and asked a screen guy to build me this. I then took a 1-inch hole puncher, dipped it in some paint, and started to add microphone spots to it. After that, I added some letters and numbers on the sides for columns and rows. Then, through reamping, which I'll get into at the end of the video, I started moving the microphone around until I recorded a bunch of different takes at each spot and would listen to them later and write down which ones I thought were the best. Later on, I'll show you where the sweet spot is to getting a great sound out of your amp. There are 4 ways to use this screen. First one is use the same mic position with different amp settings. Number 2, keep the same amp settings, but move the mic around. Some positions are going to be better than others, but if you start combining them, you can get some pretty interesting ones, even when you use the ones that don't really sound that good. Number 3, use different mics, but keep the same positions. Number 4, I'm going to show you later because that's what I use for this channel.
That's your sweet spot right there.
My favorite is the P5, but to be honest, there is no perfect sweet spot because it's going to depend on your amp settings and your speakers. This is art, okay? Well, I mean, it's actually kind of science too, but the
Jesus Christ, just spit it out!
Physics of it is science, but the art of it comes from your perception.
What is perception?
If you put the mic on J5 over there and everyone else says it sounds like crap, but you think it sounds good, so your perception is all that matters. Now, this is not a perfect system, but let's talk about the good stuff before we get into the cons. You put it in P5 today and it sounds good, and you put it in P5 tomorrow, guess what? It's gonna sound good again. You're not wasting your time each time looking for a new sound, because you already know what works and what doesn't. And this cost me $38. That's it. Obviously, it's going to be different where you live, but we'll say this is the Michigan price.
Let Michigan handle it.
And if you start taking all these techniques and blend them together and combine them, the options for different sounds is almost limitless. The cons! The options for different sounds is almost limitless.
Too many.
Meaning, if you get bogged down too much in the sounds, you'll never get anything done. And if you made it this far into the video, reward yourself and hit the like button. A lot of mics are an inch in diameter, which is perfect for these holes here, but not all of them are like that. I mean, you can still use other ones. You know, you got like this mic here, obviously it's not an inch in diameter. You just got to figure out a position and keep it consistent, and that would be that particular mic sound. Also, there's no off axis. This is 0 degrees. You're head on. If you want to tilt it to the side slightly or X amount of degrees, I'm sure there's some way you can do it. You can probably figure out some device, but that's not what this is set up for. This is just directly set straight on.
And finally,
Number 4, use both different mics and different amp settings together. This is what I do. I mentioned reamping before, and even if you don't want to use this thing here, you want to watch this video because all serious guitarists reamp when they want something professional.